Heart of the Matter wouldn't be possible without the support of our sponsors, Coast News Group, Godania Organic Eatery, Repegs, and John Milkowski Tax Law. Together, let's get to the heart of the matter. Welcome to the Heart of the Matter podcast. I'm Junan.
And I'm Susan Billings. Today we are sponsored by Coast News. Thank you, Coast News. We love and support Coast News here at the
Absolutely. And thank you to Insperity. They're allowing us to use the podcast studio. And today we have Mila. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We've been pre-talking here, and we're like, no, we got to save it for the podcast because, of course, I'm always interested in, I fire off questions often because I don't really know a lot about the guests that come on prior to. So we like to make it authentic and just roll with the conversation. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, really get to the heart of the matter.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so how old were you?
Oh, that just goes back to the history of my life.
Yeah.
So we
like to start there.
You do.
Perfect.
We have 2 hours. So
Oh, 2 hours.
Nature's like, no. We don't have to. We find ourselves going a little over, but yes. Okay.
So my family came from the Soviet Union.
Oh.
So my mom's side of the family is Armenian. My dad's side was Azerbaijani. And the Soviet Union fell apart and the two nations started hating each other. So long story short, my mom's family fled out of Azerbaijan where they were living. And I ended up being born in Ukraine in like the slums, like fall of the Soviet Union. There's like no real government in place, like no food. We were super poor. And then we came to America as refugees. So when we came here, everything was so different. Because in Russia and in the Soviet Union and in most other parts of the world, you can get your education, you can become an attorney, you can become a doctor, but you're not necessarily going to be successful. You're not necessarily going to be able to work your way out of the social class you're born into. And in America, that's different. So we came here and my mom said, okay, you can be a lawyer, a doctor, or a failure. Take your pick. Oh. So I was like, well, I don't really like blood, so I guess I'll be a lawyer.
Really?
And that's how it started. I mean, ultimately I did end up enjoying it. And I watched a lot of Law and Order growing up because it was kind of like, I manifested that immediately. But that's kind of how it all started.
Well, that's a common theme with the immigrants. My father said the same thing. I was supposed to be a doctor. My brother was supposed to be the attorney. So that's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. And interesting that it didn't matter what profession. That back in that culture, it was by class. It truly was by class how you would, if you were going to be successful or not. That's amazing. So you stepped into that. Where'd you go to school?
I went to San Diego State for undergrad, USD for law school. I wasn't allowed to leave the family house until I was married.
Really?
And then I was transferred ownership from my family to my husband when I was 21. Wow. So,
Really?
But yeah, so I stayed local. I'm kidding, obviously, but but that's kind of, we stayed local. I wasn't allowed to leave, but USD was a great school, so it worked out.
Sure, absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, we love San Diego, so it's not a bad place to be.
Man, that's not a bad place. Is that where you came? I mean, did your parents immigrate and they came to San Diego?
So a lot of people don't know there's an International Rescue Committee in El Cajon, and what they do is whenever there are refugee communities or asylum communities, they will kind of help coordinate. So they bring you in, they connect you with your church, or back in the day, this is how it was, like church or place of religion, so that you have your community. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, they would pay for 1 month rent. And you get some food in your fridge. And then, ultimately, what happened with us was the church gave us furniture and kind of all get together. So I actually, when I was in college, I was so grateful to that organization for assisting us that I went back and volunteered there when I was in college, and it was really great. At that time, there were a lot of African refugees. And
I work with an organization down there doing that, and what we would do would go to those homes. So after they get dropped off and have that month of help, then they're kind of left, after that, if they're not plugged into a community. So we'd inventory houses and fill them with what they needed and get them their driver's license and into schooling and all of the things.
Yeah, that had to have been extremely difficult. What did your parents do when they came here?
So no one spoke English. And it was always, that's the other thing. It was always we left everything we know so that you can have a better future. So like it's on you, like the pressure's on. Like my poor grandpa, like he was in his 70s and he was, he was a World War II veteran and he was an officer in the Red Army. And the only reason he survived World War II is because he kept being injured and sent to recover. And then he'd come back and be injured again. Otherwise he would have died. So he came, like very respectable in here. He doesn't speak the language, can't really get a job, can't drive.
Right.
And then my mom, who was a teacher in Soviet Russia, became a babysitter here. She did try to get a job at Vaughn's, but didn't last very long. I think she probably took a cigarette break when she wasn't supposed to. But she ended up being a nanny and housekeeper, and she made $4 an hour.
Oh my
yeah. So that was like my childhood.
Wow.
Sure.
Was your family able to stay together, or were there people in your family that kind of were separated during that time of coming over?
Yeah, so during that time, it was a lot easier to keep families together. So you could come here as a refugee and then call your relatives over and they can come and join you. And then they apply for asylum and end up getting it. Yeah. So we ended up all staying together, thankfully. Yeah. So we lived in this low income apartment complex in Carmel Mountain. And my grandma still lives there.
Carmel Mountain.
And Carmel Mountain, like back in the day, that was like we call it like all of the low housing, all of the immigrants would stay there. It's called Canyon Rim, and we call ourselves the Rim Rats now. I'm still friends with a bunch of people, but we would all come, and then like my grandma lived in one house, and then like my aunt lived in like the next house over, and my other aunt lived in the next house over. So it was like kind of fun and like exciting. Like now I think about it, and it was like terrible and poor and like popcorn ceilings and like probably asbestos.
Do you have siblings as well?
Yeah, so I have an older sister, but she's 12 years older. So I never like grew up with her that much because when she was 18, she got married. I was 6, so. But yeah, now we're close. Sure. But for a while we were kind of separated because she moved to Vegas and got married.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it makes sense where you get your work ethic because again, I mean, we've talked for quite some time. I follow you on Instagram and, extremely motivating. You're always pushing yourself. So, I mean, with your upbringing, you almost had no choice. It was just do it.
Well, I love it. And like my grandpa taught me really, like I have this article that I posted a while ago on LinkedIn, and a lot of people still will like approach me randomly at in the legal community, saying, "Oh yeah, your grandfather reminds me of mine, like an immigrant grandpa." Right. But what we did when I was growing up, like every evening we would take a walk, and my grandpa was always shocked that people would throw away like perfectly good appliances, like lamps and vacuums, and he was always like, he was like me, he needed to be busy all the time, and he had nothing to do. So we would take walks and we would pull these appliances from like the communal trash cans. And then he would go to Home Depot on the bus and buy like new wiring or new this or new that, because he just like needed to be busy. What a guy. So he would like, our patio would be full of just like vacuums, fans, lamps. And every Saturday, or almost every Saturday, we would have garage sales. Yeah. And like we would, he had that blue painter's tape, and he didn't speak English, so he would like put down the number of like how much everything would cost, and we would have this wire going from our house all the way up to like this area where we had our garage sale. We would just like lay everything out. And people could try, like the fans or the vacuum. And a lot of people would come from like Mexico and like come in and buy, and he would like sell it for like $15, $20. And we'd make like $200 to $300 a week just like on this. But he didn't even need the money. Like he just gave it to the grandkids. But it was like kind of something he did to keep himself productive and busy.
All right, we've done a great job of branding the group and Heart of the Matter. We've grown to close to 600 people. Now, how do we market this? How do we get out there? Do we do SEO? How do we get the news out there?
Coast News Group.
Wow, it's amazing the virtues and traits that come about because of your situation. What contrast brings to somebody I mean, it's been the catalyst for where you're at now, and such a balance probably for you to be able to stay humble knowing what you came from and also be motivated and shoot for the stars on what you can be.
Exactly.
Too.
And to deal with all that, and I mean, the cultural differences. I'm sure coming here and going to school and you see all the other kids and you're like, you're not working yet?
Yeah, I started working when I was 14 at under the table at the mall, like those cell phone covers, except before they were clip-ons. So we had to like use tools. You remember those? People would come and get like pink ones and sparkly ones, and I'd like unscrew the things and like screw them back in. North County Mall. That was me. 14-year-old me.
And was that because I mean I worked again. I've told my story a million times, but I started working when I was 6, just because Korean immigrant. But like work to me was easy. Was it? I mean, did you kind of have that mentality because you've seen your grandfather, you've seen your parents work hard. So when you're working there, you're like, oh, this is easy. I make money doing this.
Well, to me, I always say this, and like not a lot of people understand. But they're like, how do you have the motivation to work so hard? And like to me, the hard work that's like in America is not really working hard. Like what's hard is being hungry. What's hard is not having a home. What's hard is living in a home infested with cockroaches or, you know, in a third world country. I remember we would like go to the store, like I don't remember personally, but stories. We would go to the store, wait for hours to get like a piece of salami, and then you cut it in half and there's like a piece of cardboard inside and there's like this much meat. And that's, you know, that's normal in a lot of other countries, especially when it's poor. Like that is hard. And here where you can literally just use your brain, like study hard. It really is true. You study hard, you work hard. To me, that's just not really that hard.
That's exactly what I say. I mean, for me, it's just a way of life. It's not work really.
Yeah. Wow. It's good too for people when we were doing things with the refugees. It was good for my kids to be able to see and get out and say, okay, this is, you know, your little bubble of what's easy every day. That's not technically what's going on everywhere else, you know? So
that's my biggest fear in raising children, because I've got 3. And it's like, obviously, I want to make their lives comfortable. I do. Like, my innate desire is to just give them everything so they never have to know a hard day. But then they become spoiled, obnoxious snobs, and I just want to smack them across the face. And it's just such a difficult balance to give them everything, but not spoil them or have them understand the adversity. I mean, my son thinks I drink coffee all day because every time he comes into the office, I'm like typing on the computer, drinking my coffee. He's like, your job isn't even hard, Mom. I'm going to be a lawyer too. But he doesn't really, and now with remote work, I mean, I start my day at 3 a.m. I start working. No one sees that. And my son's like, you don't even work that much. So it's hard because like they don't value it like I valued it or like you valued it, seeing our immigrant parents who didn't speak English making pennies. Like
plus it's difficult you know, for the kids because all their friends have all the conveniences of life, so it's hard to keep them kind of, you know, with that mentality of appreciating things. When their friends they break a phone, iPad, they get another one. When
your daughter starts saying, you only have dupe makeup. Like, and I'm all, wait, so what? We don't use Wet n Wild anymore? I don't understand, you know, and they know every brand of everything. And I'm like, why are you using anti-aging at 14? How do you know all that stuff?
Well, and the interesting thing is, and I hate to throw my younger brother under the table, but my older brother, he's only a year older, so we both grew up working just from 6 years and on. My younger half-brother is 17 years younger. He was raised spoiled, and so he got everything. Sorry, Junior, but he got everything. And so my older brother and I, we just work. That's just what we do. We constantly, you know, we have several businesses. We continue to try to improve ourselves. My younger brother, he had issues in school. He got kicked out of college. He's constantly having issues. He can't. Again, I apologize, but because of that appreciation, he was treated and raised a different way. So it's true. It's a difficult balance.
For sure. So what kind of law? What do you?
So I actually started my practice doing personal injury. on the defense side. So I would defend companies when they were sued for personal injury lawsuits. And I didn't love it. A lot of it was because having to deal with people who were very badly injured and then having to defend against that.
Sure.
It was a little tough for me. So I went into employment law because that was like fun and salacious and like lots of cool stories. So then I did employment law for, I believe, 6 years. 4 of the years was on the defense side. So I worked for Big Law. Our company had over 1,000 attorneys. We represented companies when they were sued by employees. And then I switched and did plaintiff side work for 2 years doing employment cases on the plaintiff side. So I love like sexual harassment cases and just like helping people stand up for themselves. I take a lot of cases against public entities, which has been very interesting. And now I've expanded my practice to also reincorporate personal injury, but on the plaintiff side, because I do love fighting for people. And on the plaintiff side, it's going to much better fit my personality.
All right.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing personal
Kinda
injury
back
and
to-
employment.
What's
Yes.
great
Is you've done both sides of employment law. So you've done the big corporate side and on the other side. So you really have a good like view of the both
You know
sides.
who you're
everything.
fighting.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
And frankly, like I really believe in the integrity of the legal profession. I really, coming from a place where there was no law and order for a long time to, I mean, I can tell you all my childhood traumas of everything I grew up in because there was literally no legal system in place to protect people. And then coming here, I really believe in the legal system wholeheartedly. And, getting my doctorate degree was very just, it was a big thing for me. So what I'm saying is like, I don't want to take bullshit cases.
Right.
And, that's why I feel like, how can I say this eloquently?
We're straight from the heart.
Yes.
So
Okay.
Yeah, so
say
say
it.
whatever. Yeah.
Except she has to be careful.
Okay.
We don't have to be as careful.
Oh,
You
good.
can- yeah.
Yeah, no, I just, how can I say this eloquently? I feel like a lot of attorneys will just take whatever to make a buck.
Oh,
Sure.
right.
And I run my practice in a way that I don't want to take bullshit cases. I'm
Wow.
not just in it for the money. I actually
believe
believe
in
in what I do wholeheartedly. I love to fight for people. I don't like people being put down. I don't like people being treated badly. I don't like people being injured and not having their medical bills paid.
Right.
So I think that at least in some respects differentiates me and my practice from some of the other attorneys here in St.
Which again goes back to the beginning of how you were raised and what you saw and you
being an
truly-
immigrant kid, I'm sure it was difficult in school. I mean, I'm sure you got, kids are kind of, bullying and things like that. So I'm sure it comes from that as well. So
Yeah.
Bullying was real, you guys.
Yeah,
I mean, don't look at me now and think you know.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I was foreign. I was fat.
Really?
Because we came to America. We had no food.
Oh,
And then, like, my mom got
Land
food
of
stamps and
bounty.
welfare and, like, frozen pieces galore.
Right. Yes.
Moon pies galore.
Wow.
So I was like 175 pounds by the time I was 12. Yeah. So like I was foreign, I was fat. I had a mustache. I'm just going to tell you guys I had a mustache.
Okay.
Yeah. I will show you
Yes,
pictures.
please. We'll
And,
add
like-
that into the
And like
videos.
I wanted to take the mustache off, but
Right.
my mom was like, "Oh, it's gonna grow back thicker," so she made me bleach it. So I'm this like
No.
fat brown girl with this blonde
No.
mustache. I'm not kidding you.
Oh, we're gonna edit this
You need to edit this part out. But so yeah, I mean like
I love this
Yeah,
though because
right?
you're taking. I mean, sky is the limit
Yes.
on what you can do and alchemize. I mean, you
Yes.
take this like really traumatic, probably not within your family, love or whatever. It's not that it was all hard and difficult, but you came from hard circumstances. And look at what you've just molded now. And then what you're doing for good. That's the process of life. Take the challenge, alchemize it, transmute it to something that you take that power and put it into something good, and then go do good.
Right.
And that's what you're doing.
And I think too, though, what I love about it is that you took it, you're grateful for everything you have and, you know, everything you can have, and you've kind of grew, because you could have gone the other way. I mean, you could have just and you chose to go this way.
Have you seen people go the other way that you grew up with?
Yeah, I have. A lot of people. I mean, it's just, I think a lot of it is just your mind. Like, I've learned to train my mind. That's why for me now, fitness is so important.
Right.
It's just like such an imperative part of my life, because it is the only place where you can train yourself to be disciplined, where you can practice doing hard things when you don't want to. And you can push yourself to do that. You can't practice that in the real world. Like, you're out in the world, something hard happens, like, you want to run away.
Absolutely.
If you don't have practice pushing yourself through it, you're not going to do it.
Brandon, what's going on? This is going to be our biggest deal. We can't be down.
I don't know, man. I've been trying to reach tech support for hours now. They're not responding. They said they're probably not going to get back to us for the next couple of days.
Tennessee Tech told you this was going to happen. Let's call them right now. They do the tech support, cybersecurity. They can help us.
Let's do it. All right, team. Great job. Because of Tennessee Tech, we were able to present this and close it. Good job, team. Something difficult every day. No, I love it. And that's where we connect too. When we had coffee and we talked about kind of our upbringing and just that fitness aspect, the mental. It's such a mental thing. So at what point, because Andy, you said you were 175 pounds at 12. At what point were you like, I'm changing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, I know exactly the moment when it happened, but it's like a little vulnerable, but I'll just say it.
Yeah.
It was my uncle. Like, I was raised without a dad, and I never had a dad because the Soviet Union fell apart, and my mom and my dad were separated because they were from different parts of the world.
Wow.
And so I didn't really have a male figure. And one time I remember I was sitting at my aunt's house with my uncle, and I was sitting in shorts, and my uncle like stood up and he's like, "Oh my God, your thighs got so big." And like, it was that moment that just was like, kind of, because my mom always told me like, you need to eat less, but she was also overweight. So I was like, okay, whatever, you eat less, you know? But when like a man told me that, it was like really like triggering to me. I was 12.
You were 12. Wow.
And that day I just kind of, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like initially I just didn't eat as much, and then I started like jogging a little bit, but ultimately I ended up learning so much about fitness and nutrition that now I'm kind of like, I do a little bit of everything. I cook everything from scratch.
Wow.
I, exercise 6 days a week. Sunday's my rest day, so I usually just run 4 miles because that's a rest for me.
Wow.
But that's just like my whole thing. I heard this quote. It's one of the podcast guys I listen to. He said, "Fitness is the gateway drug to excellence," because like you see a person who's in shape. And I'm not talking about like huge muscles or anything like that, but just like generally in shape. You immediately know that person has focus, that person has discipline, that person is not looking, can look at the long term as opposed to like the short term things. There are a lot of qualities that fitness instills in you. If you can continue to have a consistent fitness routine, those habits and those qualities are going to create the foundation of your character. And that's why I love that, like, fitness is a gateway drug to excellence. How you do anything is how you'll do everything. So it's very rare that you find people who are like successful in that aspect of their lives and failures in other.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
It takes that commitment. You're exactly right. It takes that commitment. And, again, to do that every day, take commitment. It's tough. How do you do it? Well, you just do it. So, and if you're able to do that, you can do so much more. We've talked about this all the time. I love getting the podcast suggestions and things like that from you. So I love this.
I love sending them.
Yeah.
It takes, I think too, with fitness, there's one thing where you feel like, oh, you're doing it because you have to, and there's another where the passion comes through the fitness, where you're excited to wake up in the morning and you do the things with zeal and the pain. You know, you're liking being thrown, or you're liking the challenge of it.
Yeah.
There's a few people. I always find it interesting when people have a fitness goal at the start of the year, as if like, okay, I'm going to start working out. You're like, no. Why is that starting in January?
Yeah.
Like, that's exciting to do that. And then you do it, it spills over into every aspect of your life where, I don't know, you begin to like cleaning. You begin to like, you know, any of the things that other people would think are is drudgery.
Well, it becomes part of it. Kind of like, you know, work really isn't work. You just do it. Yeah. Once you get into that mindset of fitness, it just becomes part of everyday life. I know when I skip a day, and I rarely ever skip, it affects me that day. So I just know, you know what, don't skip it. And I start being hard on myself. I'm like, wait, why didn't I work out? And then I'll find time to work out just because it's such a part of my life.
Yeah.
So,
And then when you do it, you feel like a champion.
it's amazing. You feel like you can take over the world. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, you know, say how horrible it is to be mean to yourself. And I agree, like, you have to show kindness to yourself. But there's also, like, the other side of the coin that, like, that voice is there for a reason. Like, it's pushing you to be excellent because it knows what you're capable of. To me, like, I would never want to dull that voice, because I also am I hold myself to a crazy high standard.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, what no one talks about is when, like, your inner standard is higher, or when your inner standard is greater than what anyone else can expect of you, you're always going to win.
Yes.
You're always going to exceed expectations, and you're always going to be the best at everything you do. So to me, like, I don't know, I like that.
Impressive that you have 3 kids, young kids. So you're in the thick of motherhood alone. You're taking care of yourself extremely well, and you have the successful professional side. So it's rare. Sometimes it's like this will slip as you're working on this, and that maybe takes a back seat as you're doing that. So how do you find that balance in all of those aspects?
So what I always say is, like, I think work-life balance is a fallacy. I don't think anyone can ever truly find a balance. I think it's a teeter-totter. That's how I see it. Some days my kids need more of me and my work gets behind. And other days my work needs more of me and my kids get behind. And some days my house is a disaster and I need to have someone come in and help me with it. And, you know, I used to fight myself and just be down on myself and, you know, just be angry at everything. And now I'm just like, okay, this is part of life. And, you know, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm always trying to learn and learn and learn, because I think it's so important to always continually grow. And right now I'm listening to a lot about Stoicism, and he talks about how, like, Stoics believe that life is a ship and you're just the captain. So they don't complain about waves or bad weather when they're, like, navigating their ship. They're just like, okay, how do I get there? And with kids, like, it's hard. It's a lot. And I was saying how I am such a structured person. I do really well with lawyering because I'm very organized and very structured. And then I go home and nothing's structured, and you can't negotiate with these tiny humans who want what they want. And I'm like, and they just like, I want this. And I'm like, no. And then they just scream, and I just get so overstimulated. So, like, I take that with a grain of salt, and I'm like, okay, like, when I'm here, I'm here. When I'm there, I'm there. And kind of what I believe is you have to put all of yourself into everything you do, or what's the point? Whether you're making French fries or cleaning the floor or writing a motion, when you're in there, you have to give it your all. And that's how I see it. And, like, but I've never been balanced. I've never felt like I'm so great at everything at the same time. Whenever I'm excelling in one part of my life, I'm failing in another, and that's just a reality I have to accept.
Hey, can you believe we have 336 members now of the group?
I know. Crazy
growing
how
so much.
fast that was actually in a
Let's
year.
celebrate.
Okay, you're always wanting, look at that. Look how quick he is to celebrate.
Well, we have to celebrate.
What are you looking for, though?
For that corkscrew.
Tune. Los Cuernos. No corkscrew needed. What do you want? You want a rosé? Red. Another red. But you want Chardonnay, I'm sure.
Chardonnay, just
Pop that open. It's just being truly in the moment and
Right.
going with that current of where it's taking you.
Yeah, and it's that inner belief in yourself, because like you said, if you lack in one area, you know you're going to be able to make it up and do it, but it's that constant. We hold ourselves to really high standards. People are always asking me how I do the things I do, or why don't I take a break? Like my wife is always like, why don't you just skip today work? I'm like, no, I mean, why? Like, it's so confusing to me. I don't get it. Yeah.
I would skip a day.
Really?
I happily would skip a day.
Yeah.
Not doing
Not
this
after
stuff.
this podcast.
It's funny because not actually doing the things you love. Again, it goes to working out. You wouldn't skip a day because you enjoy it. You know, that's what you like doing. Okay, so let's talk your practice right now. Did you say you just merged into a new practice? What are you?
Yes. So
working on?
I am now at Antonia and Miranda. You probably have seen their billboards. They have like the crazy cool billboards everywhere.
Absolutely.
The marketing guy's a genius.
Did that pull you in? Is that why you went to them?
You know what? Alona Antonian, who is one of the founding partners there, is actually, her family is from the same city
No way.
as me in the
wow.
Soviet Union.
What?
And they were also refugees.
No.
Yes.
Same program, too? Same
Uh,
coach, or?
I don't know. They actually moved to a different city. I can't remember.
What?
Yeah, but they ended up moving to San Diego, and I like knew her in the community, and she's a little bit older than me, so I think I was like 17, and my mom had a car accident, and she was like a brand new attorney, and I like drove my mom to her office, and my mom was like, "There's this like cool girl. She's Armenian, and she's an attorney." And I want you to be an attorney too. And at that point, I like knew I was going to be an attorney, but it definitely pushed me to see, another part of our like immigrant community, making it big.
Yeah.
She's such a badass. She came out of law school and was like, you know what, I'm going to start my own practice, and just kind of did it, like learn Spanish so she could get Spanish speakers, like badass.
Did she kind of have the
Wow.
same type of childhood as you did?
Yeah, I mean, she also had a lot of adversity. She was even older during the fall of the Soviet Union, so she was a lot more conscious of
Yeah.
everything that was happening in the turmoil and the uncertainty, which I didn't really have to see, thankfully, because I was just being born. So so I kind of knew of her. She knew of me because we were kind of one of the only two like Armenian attorneys out here. And then we ran into each other at an event like a few years ago. We've kind of been friends ever since. And Alona has 5 kids.
Oh,
So between the two of us, we've got 8.
right.
And we've got like 5 1-year-olds, 2 5-year-olds,
That's
and an
gonna be a
8-year-old.
A law firm, because when they get
Wow.
older, they'll all be attorneys as well.
Yeah. Do you have a kid room at the office where they all can like
No,
soundproof
Susan,
walls?
have you
throw
not
'em
been
in?
paying attention? They have offices. They work.
They actually work. Yeah. That's cool. So there's an understanding of your home life and your
Yes.
business life.
Yeah, and it's an interesting combination because we have very different personalities, Alona and I, but we mesh very well together. We have a lot of the same values. And I think in any relationship, like really underlying values are the main point in like the foundation of the relationship.
Absolutely.
So her and then the other founding partner, Tim Miranda, has a very similar work ethic and similar values. So when they wanted to open personal injury and actually Alona did personal injury law for most of her career before doing family law. So, she wanted to get back into it. And so I was like, okay, let's do it.
Great.
That's really great. So how long have you been with them?
I just started this year, actually.
did?
So, yeah, since January.
This is going to be
January. Brand new.
This is going to be the kickoff.
That's
of the
why you got
episode.
swag.
That's right. Absolutely.
You got
I love
some
it.
good
We're going to have
swag.
to talk, though, personal injury. I showed her how to choke in jiu-jitsu. I still
Yes.
have neck issues
Yes.
from it, so we'll have to.
Okay, you got it.
Wow, that's really great. So you have a big year ahead of you. Yeah. You're stepping in. You're jumping in the deep end now. And how great to have a mentor like that that you've watched since you were younger and now.
Yeah, but on your own right. I mean, again, we've been following each other for quite some time on social media. You do a lot. You've done a lot of high-profile cases. You're very public. I see the news conferences that you have. I mean, so you're on your own right. I mean, you've done quite a bit.
I love a good challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and you're not going against small companies. I mean, these are some major, cases.
Against we have a case against the public defender's office and the sheriff's office and the San Diego Unified School District Police Department. And we had a case, there was five 5 women. I don't know if I could really talk about this.
Okay.
I mean, figure out a way to say it in a way that's not. We had a case where it was several plaintiffs against one male who was like very much a patriarchal male, and they wanted to bring the case with me. And in the initial Zoom meeting, they were like a little concerned that I would be timid or afraid because this person might come after me.
And you're like,
I was just like, ladies.
You don't know how I grew up. What did you call the Carmel Mountain crew?
yeah.
Rim rat.
The
You're
rim
like,
rat.
I'm a
They
rim
don't
rat.
realize they're dealing with a rim
I have
rat.
no idea what
yeah.
rim rats were bred like.
Wow.
That's fun.
Exactly. So I'm not scared because I believe in the American justice system. And so when I see a wrong, I have an innate desire to right it, and I'm not scared of hard work. I run towards it.
Okay. So here you sit, and you would wrap it up with a big bow and look like you're just this accomplished. You're done. You've achieved it. You've achieved the health, the wealth, the prestige, the motherhood,
family,
the
everything,
family,
yeah.
all aspects. So what's on your vision board then for, like, what's the big word that you're wanting to step into next? That feels like a challenge.
I get this question a lot, and people are always like, "What's your end goal?" But it's more like, "What's your end goal? Like,
Sure,
what are you working so hard for?"
Okay, yeah.
And I don't really ever have an answer because I just want to be the best version of myself.
Right.
And I feel like the better I get, the higher my standard is
Right.
of just like being better,
Sure.
being stronger, being just more successful, like closing more good cases, learning more. And
Right.
I don't really have a plan. Like, I don't know where life is going to take me. And I'm a yes girl. I just never say no to anything. I'm always like, okay, let's do this. Let's do that. So like my vision board is just becoming the best version of myself and hopefully inspiring others to do the same, because I do think that a lot of people don't really live. They just pass time.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for a long time because I didn't know. But like, you really have to follow your passions in life. That is the only way to live, to me. And like, obviously I would never push anyone to do this, but to me, the only way to live a truly successful life is to find your passions and pursue them.
Mm-hmm.
And my passion is just like, I don't want to leave anything on the table. I don't want to ever die and be like, I should have done this and I didn't.
Exactly.
Why didn't I?
Yeah.
No, I love that. Yeah, and again, I think you're inspiring a lot of people with this. I think when this episode comes out, I always brag about you. I mean, I think it's great because you're constantly every day. You know, you'll send me podcasts where it's motivational. You'll send me this and that, and it's absolutely true because you truly believe in yourself. And people always ask me like, when are you? I'm old.
You know.
And so they're gonna be like, they're always like, when are you gonna retire? I'm never gonna retire. Why would I retire? I love just doing things. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
They say, you know, if a shark stops swimming, it dies.
Right.
That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have the question on, so relationship, you're married. What's the personality of your husband? And did he come from a background that was similar to yours? Or are you coming from sometimes, you know, you marry someone that's quite opposite. So how does he support you? How does that work?
Yeah, my husband is thankfully like very tolerant of me. I'm a big person. I take up a lot of space. And my husband he's also driven. He works out every day, but he's very much like behind the scenes. He doesn't like attention. So it kind of works out because if we were both like me, it would be tough.
It can only be one star.
Yes.
Come on,
Yeah.
let me talk.
No, but so my husband's 10 years older than me, and we met, it was very traditional. We met through the community, and I was 21 and he was 31.
Okay.
And he proposed after 3 months, and
Wow.
yeah,
You knew.
it was,
Wow.
and I've had a lot of changes throughout the years because I went from like this quiet Armenian girl, like going to law school, and to like now just like this huge person.
So you were quiet.
I was quiet growing
Really?
up. I mean, I had to focus on school. I couldn't be like loud and obnoxious and still like
Right.
pass the bar the first time when I was 24.
Yeah.
But he's definitely like, you know, God bless him. He's adjusted to my craziness, and he supports me, and he's like, he works remotely, so he's able to do a lot of the at-home things, like drive the kids around and things, and we work really, really well as a team together.
How good was that episode?
So good. Let's celebrate.
Where do you want to go?
JoJo's Creamery.
Ooh, my favorite. Look at all the flavors.
They even have vegan.
Ooh, awesome.
Hi, welcome in, you guys.
Hi, thank you. How are you?
Good. Is there anything I can get started for you?
My go-to is peanut butter cup and coconut almonds.
So I'm gonna do coconut mounds in a cup, please.
All right, that'll be $15.85.
All right. Wait, my wallet.
June, you can use repegs.
Oh, that's right.
And you guys get 2 free cookies with those.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Repegs is so easy to use. Thanks a lot.
So like he drives the kids around. I'll like cook their breakfast and lunches before I leave. I pack their outfits. I pack their bags. So he just like feeds them the breakfast, gets them out the door. So it like knock on wood, it's like a very efficient system.
That's amazing. And then what about your kids? Have they taken on some of your personality?
For in some ways. Oh, so my oldest son, he's 8. He's like the only one that his personality is really starting to shine through, and he I make him listen to Kobe Bryant podcasts.
Oh.
My son, every
Mamba.
Yes. It is on the TV, and he has it all memorized. He sits and he eats, just listening to Kobe Bryant. Well, he's 18 now. Yeah, he just turned 18.
It's cool. Like I love that hustle culture is coming back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that like all the liberals are gonna hate
is.
me for saying this. Don't add that, but like, but it's true. Hustle culture is coming back, and kids, young kids who used to, you know, spend their weekends smoking weed and drinking, now work out and get
Absolutely.
jacked.
Kind of
I
gone back.
know.
Yeah.
I know. And they write, I mean, I'll go into my kids' rooms and the things they have written on their mirrors, it's so funny. I take
Right,
pictures of it because
motivational.
it's all motivational.
Yes.
Goggins, is it David Goggins?
Oh, yeah.
They,
Oh, yeah.
They are all about it, and I love it. I love that that's what drives them.
Yeah.
You know? Good.
So
So you're seeing that in him?
I am, and in fact, my second son, he's potty training, and he's got number 1 down, but number 2's been tough. Number 2's been tough. And I like the other day, I like come into the bathroom, and my oldest son is trying to talk my middle son into going potty. Number 2.
He's so
And-
motivating, like the
Yes,
coach.
come on, you can do it.
And like my middle one's like, I can't go potty. And Daniel, my oldest, is like, yes, you can. Do you know how we all learned to potty? We tried. We didn't just give up because it was hard. I got it on video because I was so shocked. He didn't even know I was recording him. He's like, we didn't just give up. If we gave up, we would have never learned to go potty.
We're going to edit that soundtrack into the podcast.
Yeah, that would be good. That is awesome. Oh, cool. So they're learning. They're learning by watching too.
I'm hoping. And that's like, again, like my main goal and my main fear in parenthood is that I raise kids who aren't hungry because they never had to be.
Right.
So I'm doing my best. And I mean, I like you probably see too, like I feel like a lot of people don't take into consideration that kids are going to do as they see, not as they hear. And so, you know, I see a lot of parents who are like, my kid will never touch sweets, but they're eating sweets.
Right.
And I'm like, girl, your kid's going to wake up and eat, you know, grow up and eat whatever you eat.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to go to their friend's house and there's sweets there. So absolutely.
Get it
Same thing.
either
My
way.
son is, you know, I've always had this health mindset. And I remember as a kid, anytime he wanted a snack, broccoli. And to this day, now he's overtaken me as far as the obsession with working out. So
He's
I'm
definitely
proud.
your mini you.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's a big mini me now. But
Yeah, it's fun to see them take the pieces of everything you present and create.
Oh, my 8-year-old sometimes, like, he'll be offered a meal and he'll be like, I need protein. And they're just
Oh,
my
really?
gosh, he's 18.
Okay.
my sister
Gains.
wanted to take him to
Gains, yeah.
She, like, my sister, like, just so innocently, like, I'm going to take you for some ice cream. And he was like, I don't want to eat sweets because they're going to make them, like, not good for me.
He's like,
And
"I
she,
need
like,
creatine."
called me. She's like, Mila, your son has an eating disorder. I was like, okay.
No, he's got the Mamba mentality. That's what it is.
Sons eating bonbons have eating disorders, not the
Yeah.
ones that refuse to eat bonbons.
My boys are like, It's all about the gains, Ma. It's all about the gains. I'm like, okay, there's 4 whole chickens in the fridge. How many more gains do you need?
How many boys do you have?
I have 4. 4 boys, 2 girls. Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
You do it. You just do it.
Right?
And I think it's amazing when you look back at what you've achieved, you know, and I think you'll probably or have had those moments where you're like, how did I do that? You know, but I did do that. It's just like working out. You've achieved something that you can look back on and say, Psh, if I could do that, geez, sky's the limit on what else you can do. And yeah, it's fun.
I feel like I'm very calm in depositions, even when, you know, the person I'm deposing is non-responsive, because I'm just so used to my kids
There you go.
who are 10 times worse than the worst opponent.
Yeah, patience. Like, look, you don't get
I've got
patience until you've learned.
Well, my grandma had this thing that has always stuck with me. Whenever she had 5 kids, and she, you know, was a diehard communist. But anytime anyone's like, "How did you do it?" she'll just be like, "Quietly." Just like, yes.
Oh,
Check out of a movie.
woman.
I love that. Yeah.
Wow.
So use that next time.
I'm glad. Beautiful.
Yeah, I applaud you for everything. And like I said, if you can, what's your social media again?
Yeah, where
for
did
the
it
audience?
It's just Mila _Arutunian, and then I think there's an Esquire, but I follow you.
Yeah.
So
I highly recommend again following her. It's motivational. Every day you're posting something just again that's inspiring. And you know you're a phenomenal mother, wife, attorney extraordinaire, and just a workout fiend and just a mentality. Just that mentality is.
Yeah, it's
I applaud that.
inspiring.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a person of influence. You know, that's where people, they can look and learn a lot.
Yeah.
So, no, it's good. We applaud it. We
Yeah.
applaud
And then
it.
if anyone wanted to contact you as far as, you know, your services as far as either personal injury or employment law, how would they get a hold of you?
yes, you can either reach me through social media or email, and I can give you my email. It's Emilia, EMILIA @Antonian Miranda, ANTO. Can you just put it on the
We'll
link?
put it in there. We'll
Okay.
pop it in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Emilia@AntonianMiranda.com. You can also just Google me, and on our website, all of our information is on there.
Great.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate the time. I'm sure
We're going to see
good to
other
get to
big
know
things
you.
that you're going to be doing, and you know you're always on the news as well. So keep a lookout for Mila.
Really good. And thank you for tuning in, as always, to get behind the heart,
Yes.
you know, of why people do what they do. And thank you for being vulnerable to share.
Absolutely.
Your
we have
upbringing
such
and
amazing
your
people
heart.
in this community, so
We
let's
really do.
continue to support and grow. Please like and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify.
Yep. And then every Friday we do have our group meetings. Join the group,
9
other
a.m.
business members, entrepreneurs within San Diego County. Actually,
Yes.
we have them from Orange County. Everybody's coming to the group on Fridays, 9 a.m. at Good Anya in Encinitas. And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next
Thank
time.
you so much.
Thanks so much. Take care. Thank you.